Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Moaz with another episode of the Breakthrough Coach for you. So, guys, today we're going to talk about the emotional setbacks which break your self trust. So, yesterday we spoke about feeling powerless at the end of the video. Now we're going to speak about the fact that why does that hurt so much when a setback in your life breaks your self trust. Why does it hurt so bad? So that's basically because of the expectations that we have, and those expectations are very different from the reality. So basically, this is a human thing. We human beings, we keep our expectations at a very different level as compared to that level at which the reality occurs. So, and this is natural, but we continuously need to maintain the balance between our expectations and the reality. So this is where we need to work. This is going to stop hurting us when a setback occurs, and that's not going to break our self trust. And the second thing that we're going to talk about is that while doing anything, while working, while going out, while being in a relationship with someone, while being with your family, we invest a lot emotionally. So we need to see, and we need to find out that where do we need to invest emotionally, because a financial investment, even though that's substantial and that's something tangible, but it's not as important and as valuable and as worthy as the emotional investment is. So the emotional investment means that you do not need to attach yourself to everything and everybody. There are only certain things, certain people, certain relations in your life that you need to invest in emotionally. So you need to be very mindful of these things. So now we are going to talk that how self blame amplifies damage. So the self blame that we do whenever something bad happens, whenever something is not happening, whenever, for that matter, even in our these two things have not even happened most of the times in our life, and we still are facing criticism from ourselves, from our subconscious, and we start blaming ourselves for even for those periods where we are struggling, where we are trying to get somewhere, where we are in progress, in process, work in progress. So even at those points we start blaming ourselves. So we do not have to blame ourselves for any setbacks. How can we do that? So whenever you face a setback, whenever you get hurt, there is a pain that you perceive. You have to revert that pain. You have to, instead of taking that pain out in sort of a criticism, in sort of a debate, in sort of a fight, in sort of breaking down in front of somebody, what you can do either is you can make it an investment for yourself and turn the pain inwards. Okay, take that pain, absorb that pain, and make it your strength rather than making your weakest point. And for that, what you need to do is you need to stop the overloop of the constant loop of overthinking. This loop of overthinking that we have spoken about earlier, this loop of overthinking makes sure of the fact that we are just stuck. At times we would just be stuck in very simple and stupid and such issues and such things that do not even matter to us. Like if we are going to bed at night, if we start thinking about the whole day, all of the things that happened in that specific day, you would definitely find out that 90 or 85% of the things that you got worried about, that you got concerned about, that you got careful about, those things don't even matter to you. And then you would realize that how you have to stop overthinking about non-important issues. For that, we need to have a personal insight. We need to do the reflection part every day. We need to look into ourselves. We need to look into the facts, into how our day was going, how it went, what are the things that we did right, and what are the things that we could have done better. You need to understand one thing, that emotional setbacks hurt, but they do not have to break you forever. You need to understand one thing, it is called a setback because it is a setback. That does not define that it is the end. Otherwise, there would have been another word for this specific condition, for this specific experience, which is called a setback. So, do not let your setbacks break you forever. Do not let them think make you think that this is something that is impossible. If there are issues coming up your way, if you're struggling with something, if it's difficult, that's one thing. If you keep on failing on something, that's one thing. But that does not mean that it breaks you from inside and makes you aware of the fact that this is just impossible for me. The second thing that we're going to talk about today is the importance of rebuilding self trust. So, how do you rebuild self trust? First, you need to understand that self trust is the foundation of everything, almost everything. That includes your confidence, your decisions, and your basic ability to move forward. So, it is the foundation of these key elements in your life, without which you cannot actually achieve anything at all, and without which you cannot even move forward. So, why self trust is essential? We need to understand why self trust is essential. Self trust is your anchor for decision making. Self trust is the basic ingredient for restoring your inner stability. Self trust is the biggest tool of overcoming your fears. And self trust helps you build your resilience basically. The more resilient mindset you have, the more easy it becomes for you to overcome this mental struggle. And you need to understand one thing, that self trust is the only thing that makes, whenever you fall, whenever you fail, it makes you come back even stronger, it makes you bounce back even stronger. So that's why self trust is very important. And another reason why self trust is important is the fact that it strengthens your mental health. The reason that we are speaking about, the reason that the issue that we are talking about today. So we have concluded that self trust almost impacts every aspect of your life, everything that you need to move forward, your relationships, your careers and goals, and especially your personal happiness. If you want a real life perspective, rebuilding trust, rebuilding trust on rebuilding trust, I can share a small example with you here. When you find yourself in a place where you have been deceived by somebody, when you have been let down by somebody, then that's the point where you actually need to start and move on. Just remember this thing. This is the best real life example. I think that whenever you think that this is the time to stop, that's actually the time to carry on. And remember one thing, the part that you have left earlier, the part that you have moved earlier, is always the part of your journey. Even though in the middle of that journey you have failed, but that's still the part of your journey, and that's the credit that you're going to take along while moving forward. So always remember that self trust is very important, and we're going to speak about more aspects of self trust in the coming video. Till then, please look after yourself and have a good day.